Hello. What's going on? This is we just decided it's me, Goldie. We have Smash, my talker brother. We have Graham from Kicking and Streaming, and we have Kathay, who's the all-around go-to girl.
Yes.
So this is something that we're gonna do. We called it Talk About It Fridays, and it's gonna discuss everything and anything as far as hot topics. And how this is gonna work is basically no, it's not scripted. Everybody's gonna talk. Somebody's gonna throw a topic out, and we're gonna discuss it. We encourage you, the viewers, to join in, throw comments, throw questions and comments in the comments, so that you can help and guide the show as well. So if you something that you want us to talk about, discuss, put it in the comments. We definitely discuss it. Before let's get some housekeeping done real quick. Facebook has changed the way that the viewers can actually comment. You can comment, but it's going to come up as anonymous, so we won't know who it is. I'm going to share a link with you guys that you can take that link and you can ask Facebook to allow your actual Facebook information as far as your name and your picture, so we know whose questions we're answering. Okay, and I'll share that in the group. So everybody, go around the room and introduce each other.
Right. So, hello everybody. This is Graham, host of Kicking and Streaming podcast, and I am glad to be here. Anytime that there is an opportunity to collaborate with Goldie and Smash, count me in. So here I am.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the love.
Yeah, man.
Kathay.
Hey, I'm Kathay. I'm kind of like a float, so I just kind of float in and we just talk. There are super, super great conversations, though. Super, super great conversations. So I'm here for all.
She's here for just wait, because I know you're gonna be talkative. So you acting shy right now.
I'm ready to get it started. Let's get it cracking.
Let's get it started. Okay, so there's a link that I'm going to post. You guys can actually save it. Let me share it. That link there, if you go to that link right there, you can actually click on it and allow the comments for us to see who you are, so we can answer your comments. But hey, how this thing works, like I said, how this thing works is we're going to just jump out there and jump in it. Who has the first topic? Let's get into this thing.
Let's just go briefly with Derek Chauvin sentencing. How do we feel about that?
Fill us in, because I tell you, I'm not even on par with that right now.
Okay, so he got 22. So he had a possible 75 years he could have gotten, but he didn't. So at the end of the trial, they filled out these papers, and I can't call a name. It just won't come up in my mind. But it can reduce a sentence. So if you have like 10 years, then they can reduce it as much as to 4 years, 4.5 years, right?
Okay.
Then whatever other charges you have, the judge has the power not only to reduce it for every 10 years, but he can make it run concurrently. See what I mean? Right. So you may not get any, you know what I mean? So if they give him 30 years and he only doing 12, and then he got so many days served. So that's where it is. So he got 22.5, and sometimes there are fates worse than death. So now he's on suicide watch and all of that, but they want to give him less time because there's nowhere safe for him to be in the prison system. Okay. So do you think 22 and a half years, are we satisfied with 22 and a half years, or should we want it to be just for the rest of his life?
I'm good with the 22 and a half years, only because normally nobody gets anything.
Right. I mean? And I guess you're right.
He got to survive that time while he in there, and most of the times cops don't fare too good in there with them, just like child molesters. So
throw him general, put him in general population. Let that 22 years. Let him suffer like he made George Floyd suffer. Let him suffer in that 22 years in general pop. He probably only lasts about 6 months before he do himself in, probably. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Something is better than nothing, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a shame that this is where we are, as a people. In that, when it comes to justice, we actually have to um, be content with the bare minimum. But at the end of the day, it is true. I mean, we have seen countless of these cops, just walk away. In fact, grand juries that have completely declined to even, you know, indict. So in the case of Derek Chauvin, I think 22 and a half years is it's okay with me. If it were for me, I would have just take him to Haiti and just let him, you know, just drop it in Port-au-Prince and tell them this is the guy that killed Derek Chauvin, and I
Right.
bet you in 22 and a half seconds he would be dead. But hey, that's not up to me. So,
Right.
you know,
Right.
Man,
And
Graham went hard.
hey, it is what it is. I mean, at this point in time, it's just like I guess I want to compare it to that, but just giving us something like Juneteenth, giving us something. That something is better
Oh,
than nothing. I would guess,
Uh-oh.
So
Juneteenth, we're gonna celebrate that anyway. We don't need if we don't want to go to work on Juneteenth, we call in any fucking right,
you can
right.
celebrate it, but
No, I'm
you can
serious.
celebrate
I'm
it, but you're
serious.
gonna use
But
that
wait a minute.
PTO.
Wait a minute. You were in office. You signed 200. What was it? 200 executive orders. 300, 2 or 3. You know what? It was more than a damn 100. You signed all those executive orders, and it didn't include the people who elected you. Then you changed the whole platform. You was going to give us so much money, get rid of the student loan debt. Now you need to talk about it and get your people on it, right? You wrote a bill. You wrote a bill for Asian Americans. One shooting, 8 people, right? And our shit is running on a loop,
Right.
right? So, you know, yeah, no, Juneteenth was just not enough. We was gonna celebrate that shit anyway.
Yeah.
Now everybody get it off. You know what I mean? So it ain't even special to us because everybody got to be so all inclusive. We didn't win because now everybody is inclusive.
Right.
So at what point do we get to keep something?
Right. It was ours. That's the whole thing. It was ours. It was ours
I will
before
say
you
this.
made it a federal holiday.
But this is what's going to happen for that federal holiday, though. You'll be able to get some good sales on furniture now. That was a joke, y'all.
some nice mattress.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just, but
like
nobody's
saying.
Okay.
Nobody's saying where is that 1918 bill that's been trying to be passed that Paul Rand got held up in the House. Why are we not focusing on that? Asian Americans put their money behind the police department, donated that money, and so when they sign that contract, they sign the contract to guarantee to act if anything happens.
Right.
So now we have to figure out where the hell we get that money from. Okay.
Well, this is the equation. I try to. This equates to like MLK, right? If you're not a federal employee, it doesn't affect you. You don't get to celebrate it. It's not a national, like it's not like Christmas. It's not like New Year's. It's not like the 4th of July. The country doesn't get this day off. First of all, right? If you're a federal employee, yeah, you get to enjoy it. And then the behind the whole situation, what happened with Juneteenth. So now all the federal white folks get the day off. So now you're giving them a present for getting the day off. How about that?
So it really wasn't for it. And then on top of that, I mean, like I said, after everything else, after the gut punch of that, you know what I'm saying, and all of this dog and pony show for this. I mean, you see what I mean? So all of this stuff that's running on a loop and it's still happening every single day. And the only thing I get is to share the one freaking day that we snuck off from work with a bunch of damn white folks. Why the fuck I got to see them? So on Juneteenth, we get to see just each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, even just God damn, let me have some braids. You know what I mean? Some whatever. Just let me fucking have one thing that is culturally just mine.
Yeah, I read on a tweet. Somebody tweeted that like, how can we not get this holiday to be just a black people thing? Because If you grew up, no, if you grew up,
you got everything else. Okay, we have something.
No, but listen to me. So you have. When did you ever have a holiday because it was a Jewish holiday? When did you ever, you know? When did you ever celebrate a holiday nationally when it was a Jewish holiday? Jewish holidays are for Jewish people, right? And so the notion that now we have Juneteenth, which is the day that we celebrate, that a bunch of people 4 years after emancipation were told, yo, y'all niggas has been free for 4 years now. You know that shit? And then Juneteenth. Was it 2 years?
2 years.
2 years, right? And so, imagine how long it took this good news to travel to Texas. You know what I mean? And so now all these motherfuckers get to celebrate this. Yeah, I'm not with it. I think we have to start pushing now to make a Juneteenth an exclusively Black holiday. Simple as that.
So Grant, what you want to say? All white folks, y'all don't get the day off. Y'all got to go to work.
Y'all has to work, including my wife, by the way.
Oh my!
She got to go to work too, Grant.
Yeah, man.
So that's interesting to me, Graham. So how did your wife feel about Juneteenth being a federal holiday? Since you brought that up,
we're healthcare workers and shit. So at the end of the day, most holidays we don't even get that, except for Thanksgiving and July 4th.
Right.
But when it comes to, here's the thing, I don't take the day off on MLK Day because it's in February and it's freaking cold and shit. I ain't gonna even say I might as well go to work. But Juneteenth though, my black ass gonna be taking this one. You know what I mean? So you can bet it right in January, I put down all of the holidays that I'm gonna take and I give it to my boss. Juneteenth's gonna be included.
My thing is, and I definitely hear where you're coming from, and I think the significance of it is make it mandatory. Make every business across America, make it like Christmas, make it like January, make it like New Year's. If make it a mandatory day off. The country shuts down for that day. If you really want to put something behind it, put some meaning behind it. This is really meaningless. You know what I'm saying? MLK Day, we celebrate that day, but every black folk across America doesn't get to celebrate it because if you're not a federal employee, you don't get to enjoy the day because it's not considered a official day off.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So if you want to put something behind it, just tell everybody across the country, shut it down and let's celebrate Juneteenth. Put something behind this to make some meaning. First of all, it's meaningless anyway that you even gave us this. You get bills that go from you put a bill on the floor in March, it get passed in May. And then here we are for you guys. Here you go. We're gonna give you a holiday that you can't even celebrate.
Yeah, but even think about this. This bill actually passed the Senate unanimously.
Right.
Do you understand how meaningless it is as a bill? That every Republican say,
they know it.
Yeah. I mean, who's gonna be mad at us for giving an extra holiday? Nobody. Healthcare? No, fuck that. It's just insane, man. I'm cool with I celebrated Juneteenth because it was the first time it ever was celebrated officially.
Right.
And I get that, and I'm grateful for that to a certain extent. But like you said, it did not have any political significance for the people who voted for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't lose anything. They don't lose anything.
Absolutely nothing.
They don't lose anything, and we gain nothing from it. So I'm like this poster here. If all the black folks take Juneteenth off, a lot of jobs and corporations would shut down, would suffer that day. Just imagine if the NBA players took off. Ain't nobody watching TV. And I'm with that. I'm all for that. Let's just all just take the day off.
That's it.
On the slide,
I might watch Kevin Herter play.
I'm gonna slide my PTO on there because I want to go back to my job the next day. But I'm gonna take off with y'all though. But
I might watch Red Velvet play.
But next up, who got the next topic?
So Here's the thing.
Let's see.
Go ahead, Graham.
Cathey has a list now.
Oh my gosh!
For the viewers, we've been sitting
Anybody
around.
Else got anything right now? Where I think I know I had one more.
Nah, throw it out there.
No. It might well be on your list, Cathay, because I definitely want to talk about. It might well be on your list, but I definitely want to talk about the uncontrollable amount of bloody semen that Nick Cannon is just spraying all over the country. What the hell, man? What? 7 kids? Like 7 kids for what? This is a country of 300, almost 350 million people.
Now
it's 2021, man. Why you think you need 7 kids? I don't care if you have money to send all of them to Harvard. Ain't nobody having 7 kids right now. I'm just saying. There's no reason why.
I know in past he's talked about him having, I could be wrong, and just like talking brothers, we don't fact check, so I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. That he doesn't. I think he had lupus or something, and he had a certain amount of time that he felt that the doctor said he had on this earth, and so he wants to spread his seed around so his namesake can continue on. But is it right? Is it wrong? I mean,
it's an incredibly stupid premise. I'm just saying. It's just the whole idea. Like, who the fuck are you to like your namesake? Fuck up. Seriously.
Talk about it.
Please help me out here.
Okay, so here's where I am with this one. So you got all these women. These kids are coming twins. Boom, boom, boom. So you got what? 4 kids by 3 different women. You got the 2 by Mariah Carey, right? Yep. So all the kids are in different homes. So if he was like on his Bob Marley shit where everybody is in one space and you raising them as a community, that's a whole different ball game. But you can't be floating from house to house to house because kids not getting the attention that they need. All right, somebody gonna be resentful. So you're doing this wrong. Right. Are you vetting these women to know what kind of bloodline they come from and how these kids gonna spend your money? Are these kids gonna have the wherewithal to be, able to handle this, or are they gonna be nitwits? So you need to figure out what the fuck that bloodline looks like. But you just out here shooting up the club, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and then you run around with this goddamn turban, right? You got this turban on. Wait a minute, hold on.
Say what he looked like. Say what he looked like.
Hold on, and then wait. And then he got the garb on. So every time I look at him, I'm thinking, is he one of these black Israelites dressing like a Super Saiyan? What the fuck is happening with this dude? So even when you enlighten yourself, and I would say I don't judge, but that's what all the fuck I do. You know what I mean? And I'm judging this very, very harshly because what's happening? If you are all about spreading your seed, then put everybody in one fucking place. Don't have 30 photo shoots in all different states or countries.
Here's a good question from a Facebook user. He takes care of all his kids, no issue.
Right. I agree. Is he though? Does he is the financial situation the only way that you? I don't understand the whole point. Yeah, these kids might never go hungry, right? I mean, I'm of my father. I'm child number 19, right? I'm the youngest child of my father. Yeah, and I got well taken care of, but that shit run only until my father was alive.
Right.
At 12 years old, I became an immigrant because guess what? My dad was well in his 60s when I was born. So that nigga died when I was 12. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand the whole idea of having a kid that when the kid is coming out of high school, your ass is 65. I don't get that.
With this situation, I degaff. I really don't care about it. I don't.
You what?
I degaff. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I was trying to use my,
your acronyms.
why do I care about another man that's having kids and he's taking care of them? Now, if he's having these kids and they become property of the state or whatever, and they got to get adopted and they're on welfare, then there's a problem. But this man, He's taking care of his kids. If he wasn't taking
all
care of
those
his
kids are going to
so
need therapy.
financially,
Let me
he's
tell you
taking
something.
care of them.
All those kids are going to need therapy. I'm just
But
saying.
yeah, he
That's
has
your
the
opinion, though. That's your
he
opinion.
has
I
the
think
means. He can get him in the best schools and everything. But how much of him can he give this many children? So for me, it's not
you don't
him.
know.
It's not him taking care of children. It's how is he going to distribute that time? Is he going to be there constant and in their life like a father needs to be?
But why does this really bother you though? Because it don't
I
bother
don't
me at
know
all.
because I think it's
Them
just.
kids ain't,
I think it's just.
I ain't responsible for it for 18 years, like Kanye said.
No, you're not, but that's what you put out into the world. Every time we release a child, we release him out into the world, good, bad, or otherwise. When we don't do our job, then that's how things go awry. We
But
have
he's
to do
doing
our
his job,
part
though.
and put good children out into the world. And for that, you got to be present.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why it bothers me.
I just think about as much as they talk about us, about we're out here making kids out of wedlock and so forth and so on. This falls in that same category. Yes, financially he can take care of these kids. Yes, those kids will not want for anything. But I understand that. I get that. But what about being there for when that kid takes his first steps? What about being there when that kid says daddy? What about the milestones that this kid, he can't be everywhere at one time. Is he going to bring them all and make them, and he's going to have what they call them, sister daddy and all this kind of stuff going on? Is he going to bring them all together and raise them in one big harem? So I understand that. I don't care one way or the other because it don't float my boat. But just for the sake of discussion, where does this fall emotionally and spiritually, and how would these kids be raised? Those are the questions that we need to look at, and that's what we're here for. I don't care if he can go have a 35 more kids. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But morally, that's a bankrupt thinking for him to sit there and just sprewing these kids all over the place, and they not having. It's essentially a single parent home. We have enough single parent homes.
And can I let me add something here? I remember when I first moved to the United States. That was 2004. There was this whole craze going on about one poor woman who got pregnant with 8 kids. Like she even got the moniker of Optimum. And she was literally harassed to kingdom come.
Right.
Yet, somehow we all over here saying, I don't see no problem with Nick Cannon just going and spraying kids all over the place. Like, you know what I'm saying? The stigma always seemed to work against women. If it were a woman who had right now 7 kids, would we not be having this conversation equally? I'm just putting the question out there. What happened?
I don't think we'd be having the conversation if that woman was married.
Right.
You know and Nick Cannon, his kids they got their moms, and they're gonna have nannies. But he's not gonna be, even if he had one kid, he's not gonna be there like all that time that y'all are saying, because he has so many businesses, he's not there anyway. So if that's the issue, it could be 1 or 20. It doesn't matter. But I can't speak on that man's behalf and say he shouldn't be having kids, because you can't tell anybody like that what they should and what they shouldn't have. That, to me, that's wrong on anybody saying he shouldn't be having all these kids if he's taking care of them. I mean,
to be honest with you, I don't think I personally, I'm not telling him not to have any more kids. We're just expressing an opinion, and I mean, it's kind of weird. And somebody had the right answer here. It's like, the notion that the kid is taken care of, that doesn't make it any less selfish from the point of view of it doesn't only comprise of kids having everything they need. They actually need to know that they can count on a parent, and that's from the point of view that I'm seeing it, because it's just not cool.
Right. And it's just from a moral standpoint. We're just speaking from a moral standpoint that you should be there, but it's his world. We don't live in his world. I get that, and it's up to him how he raised his kids.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Because I mean, we could all probably scrutinize something that our parents did wrong in raising us today.
Yes, we could.
And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that most of our parents were in our lives, and they still did stuff wrong, but they were learning. As a parent, you don't. There's no book,
But,
so
but
you
this
learn.
this is a conscious. Now that's where you're wrong. This is a conscious thing that he's
Decision?
doing.
Well, we don't know.
No, he
No,
said
that's
it.
exactly what he said. Like,
Oh, he
I know
wanted
that
to
I'm
get that
going to
girl?
die,
This is
so I'm
his
going to have as many
words.
kids
I
as I
want to have
can.
as many kids as I possibly can before I perish. You know, so
Right.
this is a conscious thing that he's doing. You
Ain't
know what I'm
nothing wrong
saying? He's
with that,
not.
though.
In fact, in my view, this is actually a narcissistic decision.
Yes,
the
it is.
notion that, like, yeah, man, let me put a bunch of little Nick Cannons there because, the world needs them and shit. It's narcissistic. I'm just saying.
Yeah. All right. I
Um,
good
I'm
today.
no, go ahead.
No, you good.
Well, I forgot when.
Boom.
Oh,
She had
Oh,
so much to
Neo.
say, couldn't get it
Neo,
out.
that's who I want to talk about.
Who?
So, Neo, with his 5 children having that. So now he had that girl, promised to get married. They have the 2 kids. I'm pretty sure they got a boy and a girl. And so even when he was on the road and everything, he would come back home when things wasn't going good. Between them, he still came there when he was off the road. He said, well, we got a boy and a girl. And so she got her tubes tied on the pretenses that he was going to marry her. It was a whole little reality TV show.
Right.
And so she did that. And then he married another woman. He wanted her to have her tubes tied. So his only 2 children would be in the house there. Then nobody, no stepsisters, no stepbrothers. This is his bloodline right here. Then he goes over here and he marries this girl and he had a baby after they on their 3rd baby. I would be livid. They were so young.
It's kind of different. I mean, as we grow up, we make mistakes. Sometimes we learn through mistakes. And he's married now, so I kind of give him a pass because he's married. He has these 3 kids with his wife, so I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, the headline says Neo and his wife has 3 kids. He's on his 5th. So it's kind of like where the other 2 mistakes he left. I don't know, man. It's kind of hard with me with these kids. It's like you want to be there for your children, and we all make mistakes and we all grow and learn from our mistakes. But at the end of the day, he's married, so he can have as many kids as he wants to. But it's kind of like when you like Nick Cannon is thinking and planning that he's going to make all these kids with no plan at all. That's where the problem comes into it.
No. The first one, the 2 children, he convinced her to get her tubes tied on pending marriage. Now her tubes is tied, and he married somebody else. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
come on now. Why you make that girl do that? Y'all so young.
I think the only problem for me here is that I'm trying to figure out in what way Neo, other than by the charm of love and maybe immaturity from the other end, would have made someone do something other than out of love. And if it didn't work out in the end, I'm not sure that she would have needed to stay in the relationship because you got me to tie my tubes, whatever. But at the end of the day, Neo could have equally gotten himself a vasectomy. So there's that. Right. So this is the kind of thing that pisses me off, is that why does she have to make the sacrifice when a vasectomy is actually reversible, isn't it? Right. So get yourself a vasectomy. You know what I'm saying? But you actually feel better in convincing a woman to make a decision. You convince a woman to do something with her body, and I just don't believe in that. I mean, a woman should make her own damn decisions.
And that's what I agree with the poster. You got more of an argument towards Neil than Nick Cannon at this point. I mean, that's a choice that they talked about, they discussed, she agreed, and it didn't work out. Whatever the context was in that conversation about let me get my tubes tied, and then he decides he wants to bounce. It's kind of, I don't know, man. People do strange things. It's like, let's, okay, you're gonna do it, we're gonna do it together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's kind of, it's a weird situation with that Neo situation.
Hey, you just said it right there. My boy Cell Dog's favorite movie. It's all about choices.
Choices, baby. Shouts out to
as
Cell
adult,
Dog.
We make choices, and she made a choice to get her tubes tied with Neo. He bounced. I mean, that was that's the dice that you roll. I mean, in relationships, you always make choices in some way, and you gotta. And sometimes you look back on it and you be like, man, I shouldn't have did that, but that's a part of growth and evolution. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know the influence that a black man can have on a black woman. You know what I mean? So I guess for me, if that's, I got the kids minimum, it didn't have to be, I hope it's irreversible for her. I hope she didn't get the whole kit and caboodle, but still, I think it's just the idea. Because now
that's what I'll say, Kate. I don't mean to cut you off, but I did. But I'm sorry. But because you said like y'all know how influence a black man has on a woman, but we don't from a female perspective. You're giving us that female perspective because we know to a certain point how much of an influence we have, but we don't know the feels of it, the the outcome of it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the point that you're relaying here. So that's why we're listening to you and hearing what you're saying.
To each his own, I guess, on that one. Graham, you up?
Yeah,
what
man.
You got? You up?
Oh, okay.
You forgot?
No. So finally, I want to.
Okay.
The last thing I wanted to talk about is we talked about this in the group during the day. The whole Rihanna being not allowed to enter a club thing. Like, what the hell was that all about?
I'm with the bouncer. I'm with the bouncer. I'm with the bouncer on this one.
Like that, man?
I'm with the bouncer. Hey, and shouts out to Gio Ballers Junior podcast from his comments in the Facebook group. He wanted to get that was his shining moment. He wanted to fake the funk like he didn't know who she was, so he could take his shot. So I'm with the bouncer. Think about it. The bounce, he got his ticket. He got to take his shot, right? He got free publicity. He should get a raise. We talking about this club. I don't even know the name of the club, so I can't even give the shout out to the club. But he's getting free publicity. I'm with the bounce on this one.
Are you suggesting that there's going to be more people going to that club because they didn't allow Rihanna to go in?
And Rihanna, they're going to get with Rihanna publicist, and they're going to tell her, if you come back, we're going to drop you a bag. We're going to give you all the bottles you want. Bring all your friends, and we sorry. And it's going to be a win-win for everybody.
Cat.
What you think, Smash?
Hey, man, that man was doing his job.
Okay, I'm with you, Smash. I'm with you.
Really?
She didn't have no damn ID. I don't give a damn you, Rihanna. And
you're right.
And what's as soon as possible, Rocky? Who is that?
That's ASAP Rocky.
I know.
I think it's just ASAP.
I like it.
But I'm just saying, like, I get it. Like, he was.
Is that the brother that put the diamond on his forehead and shit?
Nah, that's Lil Yachty. That's Lil Yachty.
Okay.
Think about it from a business perspective, though.
As soon as possible.
From a business perspective, your whole thing is if you have no ID, no entry.
Right.
Hey, he did his job.
I mean, and it's the truth. You're not going to the club unless it's just a place you regularly go. If they ask you for ID, you give them ID.
Right.
And so, I feel like he treated everybody the same. So for me, it would have been like that for anybody else, and I think that's okay.
But he knew.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he knew.
You knew.
Of course he knew. But you can't walk around and if he asks for ID and you ain't got it, that's not on him. You don't have it.
But does he know though? When's the last time Rihanna had a song? Like, does he know? Does he?
Man, that's robbing Rihanna Fenty.
Tell him.
The owner of Fenty Beauty, whatever that she called that shit.
First of all, the bras would have liked to shove Victoria's Secret down overnight when she launched. Yes. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Second thing is that she makes something for everybody. I got some of her shit too. I mean, she compare and it's reasonably priced. At Victoria's Secret, I'm gonna pay like 70 something bucks with tax for a bra. But with Rihanna, she got a little club. You just, you know what I mean? You just pay the club monthly and then you can just get them, you know, so they nice. So everything is not my favorite, but I tell you what, between that, the makeup, the skincare line, I have these little things, this little sunspots on my face. I started using the product and it just lifted that. It's a good product.
So if you were the bouncer,
really good product.
If you was a bouncer,
it's a good plump. You doing it all.
So Kathay, what I'm getting from that is, if you were the bouncer, she was getting in for sure.
Wait,
if you were the bouncer, you would definitely let her in the club.
Oh, if I was the bouncer,
yeah.
Oh, I would have let her in, but that's his job.
Okay.
Hey, Kathay, it just
seemed like he might have been one of those people.
The producers just told me that we can't be giving out free advertisement like that.
Right. We get nothing in return.
Yes. They want us to promote like that, they're gonna have to pay.
Yeah. Who is she? I'm with the bouncer. No ID, no entry.
Nah, I'm just messing with you. You probably didn't even hear me.
She probably didn't.
I was saying, Kathay, the producer said we can't be promoting that because we got to get paid for those advertisements right there. Because you just promoted Fenty pretty damn good, right?
Right, skin. I mean, that's a whole commercial you just did.
Sorry, my bad.
Who got the last topic of the night? Kathay, you had a whole list today. Now, come on now.
I did have a whole list of things.
What happened to your list?
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about
Trick Daddy.
Yeah, Trick Daddy. Yeah, let's talk about Trick Daddy. So Trick Daddy said the shit about Beyonce, the Beehive came for him. You know what I'm saying? But then he released a video and so he responded. And he said, I didn't say Beyonce couldn't sing. I said she couldn't sing. He said she ain't no Adele. She ain't no. So he started listing off all of these, you know, these artists. And he said, yeah, she got all the albums, all of that. But, you know, vocally, he said, but that's my opinion and I can have my opinion. Right. My favorite rapper too. Like, so what he was saying was, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm like anybody else. I may have been an entertainer for a while, but I like what I like. So that's the way I took that.
That's true.
Smash, where did you stand on this? Because you had a real good opinion on this.
No, I just thought he was wrong. I mean, just like he said, I got my opinion. I thought he was wrong. Like Beyonce can sing, and she can sing if she really have to. Yeah, the whole Jay-Z thing, like I could go 50-50 on them with that because like.
But is she truly number one? Is she truly? If we had to put if there's one singer to save your life. Right? She had to sing that song to save your life. Would she be the go-to singer?
For me personally, I'm calling Patti LaBelle.
Okay.
Because that's my girl. You know what I'm saying? That's who I'm calling.
I'd probably go with Kiki Wyatt myself.
Okay.
Ooh, Kiki's a good one.
What about you, Graham? Graham in deep thought. He like, I'm trying to think about this one.
No, like, there's a number of singers that I, and I mean, she's dead, but I don't know that, there's a better singer.
Well, if you're not picking, you joining them.
No. I'm just thinking about like if you had Whitney Houston and then you had Beyonce can sing here,
right?
But you also have the option of Whitney Houston. What would you do? Do you know what I mean? And so when we talk about singing. So there are people who can carry a tune and are extremely good at performing. And do I think of Beyonce as an absolutely fantastic performer? Yes. Yeah. But when it comes to singing a song, to singing the absolute bloody shit out of a song, I don't think that she does that. And that's in the context that I agree with Trick Daddy. And but I think the conversation that we started was because the Beehive went after Trick Daddy by making a bunch of negative comments about his about for his restaurant, and
No,
I'm
no,
like,
those
that's
comments
kind
was
of petty.
already there before. They didn't put them there. They were there before. Those are his reviews.
Oh, don't
Right.
You
worry.
click on the page because I went and checked it out. You click on the page, them real reviews. Them not yesterday reviews. Those
They
are
coming for
reviews.
Graham too, because he chose Whitney Houston's hologram over
Those are
Beyonce.
bona
I'm
fide.
taking that. Graham hit it on the head. I'm gonna take Whitney over Beyonce every day.
Oh, you going for the hologram too?
And twice on Sunday. But the thing about it is, you just named somebody other than Beyonce. Could they just name somebody other than Beyonce? Graham just named somebody other than Beyonce. I did. I named somebody other than Beyonce. So this is not about can she? Yes, she's a good singer, but this is more about the popularity of the Beehive loving their Beyonce more than actually who's the great she's the number one singer. And so in context, Trick Daddy is kind of right.
But what about the Jay-Z part? Because he tapped
But
both.
he's totally off base on that. Now you can go ahead. He could take that and shove him
No.
in. As The Rock would say, shove it up his candy ass. He could take that. So
you know what? When I throw on headphones, like when I'm hitting the door, like if I'm not listening to this ratchet stuff that I've learned to like for whatever, it's bad though. But you know what I'm saying? I don't even want my kids to know I'm listening to this shit. I'm telling you, the other day I didn't even know.
Don't do it.
Don't say it. But
I gotta say it.
No, we are not. There's no free pub around here. We know the song. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Baby,
look, the internet gremlins jumped on it. Don't do it.
Okay.
We know the song, and it's definitely vulgar, and it's definitely
it's a banger though. It's a banger.
It's definitely a banger.
Right, but the beat, when that beat drops, I was decided to stop and just back it up, and I was like, "What did they say?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm still gonna bump this." So you know what I mean?
I'm already committed. I'm already committed.
Right, but for like a workout, Jay-Z is always on my. You know what I mean? That's my playlist. Them, Starlito, I like them. Scarface, I like him. So it's a lot of them that I like, but I used to just be like your commercial rap listener.
Right.
The stuff that came on like your white stations, the ones that they played every once in a while.
Right. But when you think about the pantheon of MCs, he's in some. He'll if we were to take a poll of everybody's pantheon of MCs, he would finish somewhere in the. If we average it all out, he would finish somewhere in the top 5 or the top 10. Now, if we take the pantheon of singers, where put popularity aside, like just singing, do you think she would finish? She would always finish top 5, top 10.
No, like Graham said, she's a performer.
Right.
She's an entertainer, yeah.
So she's a performer. Right. So that, like you said, like if you put her somewhere with, like, okay, when Oprah Winfrey had that brunch and everybody that could sing did sing and they just passed that mic around. I mean, singers, Gladys Knight, the likes of them that could sing music, no music, nothing. They just had it, right?
Right.
So when it comes to that, no, I don't think Beyonce can do that. But I know Kiki Wyatt can do it. I know Chrisette Michele can do it. I know Lettucey could do it because they cross over to jazz. As far as Jay-Z is doing to rap and hip hop, because rap and hip hop is the only thing that's ever evolved more or as much as jazz, right? And it's universal because everybody listens to jazz and everybody, all walks of life, listen to hip hop. So the only thing that's ever evolved as much as jazz is hip hop. And it moves and it talks and it tells stories. So what jazz does, without an art, without a vocalist, jazz just tells that whole story,
right?
Because that's your soundtrack. But they putting words to it, and so, I mean, but Jay-Z, like I said, going into a lounge and using it as almost like a beatnik, just with the band behind him, just saying the raps. He even, that was dope to me.
Shouts out to Chris Miller. Top 5 performer / entertainer. She's a great singer, just not the best.
I completely agree with
or top 5 for that matter. And I can agree with that.
Oh, absolutely.
I can agree with that. But I just think it's more the Beehive is what's driving the negativity towards Trick Daddy versus it actually being factual. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Beehive would actually sit down and like I posed the question, if you had one singer to save your life, are you going with the Queen? I think the Beehive. I think they all be running for their lives. I think
I'm going with Patty.
Yeah, you're gonna go with Patty.
Yeah, y'all better put some respect on Miss LaBelle, boy. That's my girl. She the only one I know. Like, you know, that Benjamin Button effect. Right. She got prettier as she got older. Because if you seen her when she first came out, she ain't wasn't that hot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. On that Soul Train, I was like, ooh, my knee. You know what I mean? And my mother used to say, oh, that's an ugly ass woman, but she damn sure can sing. You know,
but now, Patty's fine.
What about Angela Bassett aging backwards? That's ridiculous.
She definitely has the Benjamin Button effect.
Yeah,
definitely. She's one of my favorite entertainers. Put her beauty aside, you know, her entertainment value, what she brings to the screen and what she brings to her art. She's definitely up there, highly ranked. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm with you. Definitely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
This was supposed to last for 7 minutes, but you know, who's counting, right?
Nobody counting.
Ain't nobody counting.
So we don't fact check or count. Huh?
We don't fact check. There's definitely no fact checking. So I hope if we're wrong, correct me. If I'm wrong, correct me. But we're gonna do this every Friday. All right. So get in the groups, get in the Facebook groups. We're gonna do the normal housekeeping, like, share, you know, share with your friends, rate us 5 stars, blah 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 blah, all that good stuff. Join the Facebook group because we definitely have stimulating conversation going on in there. Anybody got some closing words? Anybody want to send us out with a profound thought? Graham, with you pull up your word list, the word for the day list. What's the word?
You already took the word of the day list.
Profound.
Pantheon. Yeah, you already took that one.
Yeah, Pantheon was it. Pantheon was it. So no, it's been an absolute fantastic pleasure to be with you guys, and you know, like, big up to Cathay for coming up with this idea. I am in, and I've enjoyed this conversation. So count me in. Thank you very much.
Smash.
Man, just like I always say, for real, like take this time, man, with your friends and family. Reach out to them. I just had my partner come up. We played golf together. And my wife was like, "Y'all didn't take no pictures."
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. My wife was like, "Y'all didn't take no pictures." I was like, "Man, like we ain't doing it for the gram or for the social media. Like, we were hanging out real. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were just being with us, and we were in the moment. So, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate that. That's gonna be a memory. That's gonna be a memory for him. So just appreciate your friends and family while they're here, man. Life is short, but hey, we here, live it up, you know, kick and scream with it, talk about it, you know, whatever.
Yes. Cathay.
I apologize for the internet connection.
Oh, you good.
I apologize for the internet connection. Sorry about that. So
I'm used to it. I'm married.
Smash is always like Saturday morning Kung Fu theater.
All right.
With his internet
you know what? I forgot one. Do we have time for one more?
Go for it.
Just one.
Go for it.
Okay, so Michael B. Jordan, the whole thing with this name, right? So today I read the article. He's folded like a lawn chair, right?
I told you.
He's changing it. You did say it.
I told you.
Said it immediately. But I felt like he should have stood on it. You know what? This is my meaning, and just because you took, as you said, just because you took, you know, gave it negative connotations, that has nothing to do with what my plan was for what my brand was supposed to be about.
That's it.
And if you had just given me a chance, you would have seen through marketing and everything else. I don't have to share everything with you, but no, I'm not doing a terrible thing, right? This is an honor to. This is like a namesake. This honors them. That's what I took it as.
Yeah. He should have stayed with it, and And when we talked about this in the middle of the week, I told you what I thought. It's just a question of, you know, um, we will have an entire conversation about cultural appropriation thing, but I felt like, telling anybody of African descent that they can't use a terminology from the Caribbean or from Africa or from anywhere where our people have been and live. It's kind of like you're telling me you have no, you can't talk about your grandmother or you can talk about your family. And you know uh I know that we live in a world where you don't want to piss off a lot of people or whatever. So Michael B. Jordan came out and did what he did, and he didn't want probably his rum to be out there already having a a bad flavor in some people's mouth or whatever. But I don't think it warranted an apology or anything like that, did it?
It didn't. It did. And doing the wow, doing the research on. I did research this for ladies and gentlemen. Doing the research on this one, it has two connotations. One is negative, one is positive, and everybody seems to run with the negative meaning of this word. And if that's your brand, and if you feel passionate about it, if you did all this stuff to make this brand happen, then stick to your guns. Where's this venom again? I hate to backtrack all the way to the beginning of the show. Where's this venom for Juneteenth? You know what I'm saying? Why are we not spitting this venom at those people? But we seem to be able to attack each other with this vigor and this aggression to make this man change his brand, to go start over from scratch, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm more than sure, he's sitting there and he's not as excited about the product anymore. He's not excited about the project anymore. Now I got to figure out something else because he was emotionally tied to that name, and it's just a name, folks. It's not going to cause any of as a cause or effect. It just makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. But I knew he was going to fold. We talked about this earlier in the week, and I said, when they said it, I said I knew he's going to fold. He's going to fall to the pressure because he don't want to ruin his image.
Yeah, but I think too, like, and this is just my personal opinion. I could be dead wrong, but I think for Michael B. Jordan, like, I think. Hey, it's gonna be bad to say, but I'm gonna say it. But I think he's trying to prove his blackness. You know what I'm saying? Because they always get him with the white women. So when Nicki Minaj said that, you basically not a culture vulture, but you're misappropriating our culture. He really wanted to change. His business people may have told him to stick with the name, but he probably wanted to change so he looks good in the culture because he already has that bad rep of being with white girls. You know what I mean? And that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah,
it may
but
not
I mean,
have
black
to do with
women are divesting. So why is it that everybody's so mad about a black man
and a white woman? I could care less who you love. You love who you love.
I agree with you. I'm just saying
Thank you.
But that's what I agree with you 100%. But that's what that's what everybody says about him.
But think about it though. Now you say that smash, but has he stopped dating white women? They hadn't forced him to stop dating white women.
Yeah. He would
right, but still, like I said, I mean,
I'm just saying.
He's just a pushover all the way around.
I really wanted to see him stand. I wanted him to say, you know what, this is what I chose. Because now, anytime that he do something and they don't like it, they say something, then they may force his ass to do it again because he let them step over that boundary. He didn't stand up as a man, but remember, he's still a little young. But his parents should have been like, hell no, you ain't got to change shit, son.
Yeah, but I want to know too, because like to even have that name, like I probably would have stayed with it and had my PR people swing it and some of the proceeds go toward that country or whatever, something like that.
Bump that.
But I think we could have,
if that's what you wanted and that's what your passion was behind, be behind your passion. And publicity, it had a negative connotation and it is still sold off the shelf. Whatever it is, it still would have sold.
So what if I come out with Karen wine, Karen box wine, Y'all gonna be all right with me?
Listen, it's gonna sell off the shelf. Hey man, they selling candles that smell like punani. If that can sell, anything can sell, brother.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think
damn candles, she being sued. She being sued because them candles started blowing up and shit.
No, not by dudes. Not by dudes. The imposters that try to
you talking about
dudes.
Right. What's her name?
the white girl.
Yeah, the white girl. Yeah,
I can't think of the name. Her stuff always high. No, her prices are always very high.
That shit started blowing up.
Who's that?
Hey, I would think you would have a Badu candle.
A Badu.
So,
all right.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
they were buying them. Yeah, they were buying them good, but then it started blowing up. I'm telling you.
Yep. We're gonna get up out of here. So for the viewers and the listeners, thank you again for joining. Make sure that you like, share. Make sure that you join the Facebook group.
I might would.
You might.
But I would not have I wouldn't buy what's her name?
On that thought, we'll pick up next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Later.
Right.
Night.